With us now is Congressman Adam Smith of Washington. He is the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. And Congressman, I know you had briefings yesterday from the administration on what's going on there. And based on those briefings, how confident are you that the administration's going to get what it wants from these negotiations, albeit separate, with Iran?
Well, they're not going to get what they want, or what they wanted at any rate. It's kind of a moving target, what they say they want. But the basic idea that Iran's going to abandon its nuclear program, give up its support for terrorist proxies, and discontinue its ballistic missile program is pretty much off the table. Sort of their modified want is the Strait back opened for a certain amount of money being made available to Iran, and the promise of some sort of negotiation on the nuclear deal. I'm probably less than 50% at this point, because it certainly seems like Iran and the U.S. are on the different page in these negotiations right now.
How palatable is the status quo, which is to say, if nothing further is officially agreed to, if we are left in this situation where the Strait is kind of open and Iran gets some money and we're in this state of perpetual negotiation, non-negotiation, is that, how satisfactory of a semi-permanent outcome is that?
Well, I mean, it's better than continuing the war and devastating the global economy and keeping the region massively destabilized. And that was the problem with this war in the first place. Look, we can all agree that Iran is a terrible actor in the region, a threat to U.S. interests, a threat to peace and stability throughout the region. The question was, is military action going to change that? Is it going to force Iran to fundamentally, well, make those concessions that I talked about earlier? And it was always very clear that they weren't going to have to do that, because all they had to do was survive and hold the region and the Strait of Hormuz at risk, which was very easy for them to do. So, is it palatable? It's definitely puts us in a worse position than before the war, but it's better than continued war and chaos and the impact that that has on the region and the global economy.
A couple domestic political questions, if you will, Congressman. There are primaries going on all summer long across the country. Of course, last week here in New York City, there were very progressive Democrats, Democratic Socialists, who won the primaries here for seats, in some cases, unseating Democratic incumbents. One of them, Daraliza Avila Chevalier, very left there. Our Andrew Kaczynski of the K-File reports on some of the things she'd been posting on Twitter over the years in a since deleted account. He wrote, the account's bio read in 2020, "How communist of you." Archive posts and retweets during this time frame included a recommendation that Karl Marx's Capital was an essential must-read, a complaint that the public libraries did not carry enough Marxist literature by Lenin and other revolutionary writers, and a retweet from a communist-identifying account lamenting that bookstore banned books displays did not include the complete works of Stalin. Her Twitter account seemed to be kind of communist sympathizing. I guess my question is, how good of a look do you think this is for the Democratic Party heading into the midterms?
Well, look, there's two big things that are going on here that need to be separated. On the one hand, there's a real desire within the Democratic Party, within the broader, coalition that we put together. They want to see us, fight Trump more effectively. They want to see us go after income inequality more aggressively, and they want to see new, younger faces. And I think there's broad appeal for that across the Democratic coalition. Get after, economic populism, greater economic opportunity, too much concentration of wealth in this country. I completely agree. We need new, younger, more energetic leaders. I get that too. And we got to effectively fight Trump. So you've got that. But then when you look at some of these Democratic Socialists that are running, their ideology is vastly more radical than that. And you see that in expressing support for communism, in expressing support for open borders, defunding the police, a fundamental attack on America itself and the premises behind it. And so it's dangerous that people come in saying, hey, I'm going to fight Trump, I'm new, I'm going to get after income inequality, but they're pushing ideas and agendas that are not popular in this country and frankly not good policy on immigration enforcement, again, on criminal justice, on the basic concept of personal responsibility, accountability, and economic opportunity. So it is a significant challenge for our coalition, no doubt about it.
You say dangerous. Dangerous to whom?
Oh, well, it's bad policy, like I said.
Okay.
I think not having any immigration enforcement creates problems. It's also going to make it difficult for us to have an election. I think not actually, funding the police and having a criminal justice system creates less security. I also think that if you take personal responsibility and accountability out of it and just say we're going to give free stuff to everybody, then you have a problem making that work from a funding standpoint. Look, it's work hard, play by the rules, get ahead. We need more opportunity, but the agenda, as you just described, of some of these folks is pretty radical, and I don't think good policy.
Congressman Adam Smith, somewhere I have a college history professor rejoicing in the fact that I asked someone named Adam Smith, about communism and capitalism. A banner day, I think, for political theory. Appreciate it. Kate?
Yes, thank you, John.
Only,
It's a very inside joke.
I know, but you know that Adam Smith did appreciate it as a student of history. Okay, let's turn to this. This morning, rescuers, you have this a remarkable video. They found and were able